You're on the line with PsychLyne.
Hi, I'm Rico, the chaotic one of the group.
Hi, I'm Pascy.
Dot.
Yes,
And today we're joined by some guests from
the English Language Society of MMSU. We have
Hi everyone, my name is Thomas John A. Nefulda, but you guys can call me TJ.
I'm then Aries Amian, and you can call me Aries.
For this month's topic, we will be talking about everything about pop culture.
what we like, what we dislike about it, its implications on our personality and our mental health, how we would function as a society without it and with it, I guess. And with the formal title being Concerts, Conventions, and Consciousness, how attending live events affect our mental health. So, icebreaker.
Yes, so that things don't feel so awkward around us and so that we can have a very good exchange of ideas, dynamic conversations. Let's get to know each other, TJ and Danny. What do you like or what do you personally like and dislike about pop culture? And then afterwards, we will do a discussion on what exactly pop culture is.
I think pop culture in the world right now is expanding, but amidst all that glamour and it's the spellbinding influence it has on people, there's so much more to discuss behind the glittery curtains of pop culture. I mean, in its vortex, there are these issues or challenges that are not shed with enough spotlight. One example that I dislike about pop culture would probably be the music industry and the palpable double standards. I mean, one example would be the phenomenal icon Taylor Swift. I mean, in her music career, she has garnered this reputation of a pop star, and she literally changed the pop music industry. But the issue now comes with her strings of ex-boyfriends. I mean, a lot of people called her out for that. Like, in a way, her reputation has been reduced into just the definition of it's a sensitive word, and in a way, this shouldn't be that way because she's so much more than that. And when a male artist does that, like leaving also a string of ex-girlfriends along their way, they are suddenly glorified or popularized or even looked at like a statue. Like, oh my god, he's a woman getter. But when a woman does that, she is shamed of a patriarchal microaggression called slut shaming. And in a way, pop culture has worsened this
Phenomenon.
yeah.
Okay. How about you, TJ?
I'm gonna be honest, I like it when pop culture is able to break down barriers like international barriers
So,
and
globalization.
Yeah,
When it
but like I mean it,
popularizes things, yeah.
Yeah, but like I mean it in a way that it gets people to connect with one another. But along with that, there's also one thing that I don't like, in which sometimes the connections are, I mean, they can be deemed as unhealthy. And if there's one thing that really pisses me off when it comes to pop culture, it's how we romanticize things that shouldn't be romanticized. Like, I mean, for example, it's evident that we are normalizing mental illness, like rather than shedding good light to it. Like, you get what I mean, and I hope we get to talk about that as we go on in this episode or podcast.
We will definitely be getting to the point of talking about how pop culture or media, so that for us to consume pop cultures, that will be discussed later on in the topics. And for me personally, pop culture is
Well, what do you like about it?
well, before we go too far ahead, I'll just break up the segment and try to explain what pop culture is. Well, in my extensive knowledge so far, pop culture is again, a shortened term for popularized or popular culture, which takes snippets from a certain culture or a point in a certain region, and then it shows it to the mass media for us to consume. So things that are televised and things like that. So just from that definition, I hope everyone gets that clear for the further discussions. That's what we will be talking about in terms of pop culture. That's our term. Now going back, what I like about pop culture is that there's a lot of things to intake, a lot of cultures, a lot of again, maybe romanticized, but that's the part of the journey where you get introduced to a culture. It has been shaped so that it is consumable to the mass media. And then once you understand what's the inner mechanisms or the things that define the culture in the first place, taking an example would be Wakanda movie, Black Panther, that's one, where it showcased different ethnicities. That was very interesting.
And
But-
also the new movie for Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah, that too. That's an interesting take.
Black representation.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is that, again, from the start, there is an underlying form of capitalism where they have to shape the culture into something that people would want to consume and not a direct representation of the culture itself, which sometimes demonizes, romanticizes things that make things interesting to watch. Again, there should be always a caveat for things like this. Then again, if you go too much, my suspension for disbelief becomes too strained and I start disliking what pop culture is for. And especially the media it carries on. It is carried on.
I think this is more apparent in like discussions surrounding Rick and Morty.
That is an interesting take. I will not go into that yet. How about you?
Because it flopped. It did not hit it consistently. So for me, what I like about pop culture is that it popularizes things that are good. So essentially, what women have not been represented before. So now that they're popular, there's something like more represented. So there's also the LGBTQIA plus.
Someone's editing.
Just say queer. Oh my god. Queer representation in media, and although that there are some people who do not want this type of representation. On the flip side, that what I dislike about pop culture is that in the same vein, things that that are already popular aren't necessarily good.
That is very good. That's very nice analysis. So
Like
just,
things that are popular examples.
well,
Art.
Yes.
Modern
Just-
art.
Just to draw the line
Just
between our,
paint a white canvas and put a dot. It's good.
it is art. But just so that we
What
are
is art?
Stop. So that we can define our terms properly. Pop culture is the idea, and then the media or the way it is conveyed, things like concerts and the such, that's a different thing. So when we're talking about movies, we're pertaining to media, and then when we try intermix it with pop culture, we're now talking about the idea that is being translated. Okay, and with that, let's talk about pop culture and how it's being translated.
And how it would
Now.
be. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that now there's a resurgence of popular things like concerts that were restricted back in pandemic times. Now the resurgence is happening. I feel like it is an appropriate time for us to discuss about that, and also comparing how it came to be. Do you guys have any insights on that?
So pop culture nowadays is digested extensively. But before the internet, the pop culture accessibility was limited. But through the technology, through the premise of technology, pop culture in a way evolved into something broader, marking its popularity. Through the use of internet as a dissemination source, anyone could say now that everything that we see around us that is popularized by mass is pop culture.
I have to agree.
From the books that we read, from the movies that we watch, from the games that we play, and anything that we consume. Basically, anyone has means now to obtain any piece of media that they want. There was this specific example from the book of Andy Zisler in Feminism and Pop Culture. In Shakespearean era, a merchant might watch alongside with an aristocrat for a theatrical performance if both were able to buy a ticket. I think that's how it is started when it comes to the consumerism act of within the pop culture.
That's an
In a
interesting
way,
tidbit.
it is now translated into our modern world, such as Netflix. We consume to fully immerse and experience pop culture itself. So now, pop culture is manifested in different forms, such as the HBO, Netflix, Showtime, Itbulaga, the TV shows in general, Barbie, Bratz, Paris Hilton, Taylor Swift,
Oh.
and so much more.
How about you, TJ? What are your
But
insights?
like on my side, what you said about the internet a while back. I mean, back then during the pandemic, you only had like the internet as like your gateway to pop culture. At least from my perspective, that was what it was. So like after the pandemic, after the restrictions and all that post-pandemic era, it seems to me like most people like they really have like this urge to get an organic hold of what popular culture is. And I think this is why so many concerts are going on. This is why people really love going to concerts these days, because like it seems to me like they're like getting a hold of what they missed. Yeah, so like before they just laid in beds, laid in their couches and then scroll to music and all that. But now you get the what's the term for that? You get the pleasure to going to concerts, fashion shows, music festivals, and all that.
So it basically boils down into, I miss this thing. It's back. I'll get as much of it as I can while I can. I don't need a pandemic part 3. Give it to me now.
Yeah, expanding on that,
Exactly.
there was a massive disconnect from us with the digital world, and I'm sorry. There's a massive disconnect with us from the live world,
Okay,
from the
there you
live
go.
performances, depriving the social aspect of enjoying popular culture. So that's like the point. So, thus reducing the perceived popularity of some events. So there are some things that you don't actually consider, like there are series of ones and zeros that you don't perceive, that you don't
Okay.
that you don't perceive, like it's a like, that's one like, it's not, you don't feel it as one person.
Yeah.
So like when you're in the internet, there one person is like a lot, but when it's just one person in live events, it's not.
It doesn't feel that much until there are like several thousands of them. And the thing about, I like the topic that you raised when it comes to people becoming numbers, especially in social media and in streaming platforms. That took an interesting turn in my head because yeah, that's basically how things go. You don't see one person as much anymore when so many people are socially
Connected with the internet and the technology
yeah
and stuff.
through the internet, but when it comes to in-person conversations,
it
We
has
are
a really
very,
different thing.
we are very chronically online.
yes. And it's also very strenuous, the having to approach a person, not being awkward, not being creepy, having to create a conversation that is suitable for both you and the person talking, and then having to be respectful of boundaries.
And I think like popular culture like democratizes that for us.
Yeah, it helps us
It
connect
helps us connect, yeah.
because we're here because of a concert. You love this person, I
love
love
this
that
person too. We're a thing.
And now
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
screaming on stage, not on stage, on the bleachers.
Yeah, like pop culture looks at one thing that two people have in common and makes them connect to that
Yes.
one thing.
That's really amazing.
I don't know you, but we both like this person,
Yeah,
this
so,
event, so
yeah.
it's a thing.
Exactly.
We have a thing. It's a community.
Yeah, but another point where I'd like to give notice is that when you look at how people interact on the internet versus how they interact
Yeah,
in
it's
real
really
life,
life.
different. Yeah.
it's sometimes very polarizing. It's very strange. I act very like inactive when it comes to social media things.
Me too.
And then when it comes to IRL, I'm this mouthy person, has a lot of things to say and don't let people say things that want.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
I mean, like, yeah, we kind of like share the same sentiments, but like, yeah, you're really a different person when it comes to like communicating through your phone screen. Yeah, I mean,
We're
let's
not
be
looking at a
honest.
person,
Yeah,
we're looking at
yeah,
a screen.
Exactly.
It's a
But,
series
like,
of
when
ones
you're
and zeros.
You're communicating in person. It's like you're a different person.
I just
like,
have to say it. A lot of stimuli is getting checked off. You're smelling, you're looking at the person, you're hearing their
Exactly.
voice.
Yeah.
This person is here with you. It's not just a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, it's not just a Wi-Fi connection. Like, this is real. You're really here. So, most of the time that changes the game.
Yeah, no matter how convenient the internet can be, it can never exchange that in person. Talking with each other, exchanging words, celebrating something.
Like sharing
Yeah.
insights,
Concert.
like what's happening.
Yeah,
Because
right
humans
now.
are social beings, and then
Yeah.
oh my
Yes.
god, call back to one of the episodes.
But in a way, internet created social media, and because of social media, it integrated more pop culture into digital dominance,
Yeah.
and that in that way, it created this cultural significance. It is spread around many people, connecting them with their preference and likes when it comes to different aspects of pop culture.
Yeah.
now that we've properly
Like, give a discussion about pop culture and its effects on how it is being digested in the
Yep.
human eye. We
Let's now
transition into
being more specific.
the current events happening in the Philippines, specifically the concerts that were actually happening here.
Yeah, this is the main thing that made me raise this point. Concerts, things like that. And now getting more specific, are you guys aware of any artists that are about to perform here?
I'm gonna be honest, not that much, but I'm aware of those that recently performed, like Blackpink.
There. Okay.
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles.
He did. He did.
Oh, that makes two of us. We didn't know.
And Stray Kids in Bulacan and in Manila.
Oh yeah, Stray Kids.
Stray Kids is one that I know though.
K-pop is like a raging force now in
the
like,
Philippines.
pop culture, like in pop culture in the Philippines. Like,
Yeah, it's really dominant.
yeah, it's dominating every music platform.
Ever since 2018.
Yeah, ever since 2018.
2018, are you sure?
Do you mind if I ask if you stan any K-pop groups?
Not currently, no.
Not currently, but before. Like, which groups?
I would not like what to do. I would not want to disclose.
Okay, understand.
Well, besides concerts, you guys have a topic for us that you want to share? It's about a platform that
That you are actually
shares a
passionate about.
culture.
So I want to talk about drag conventions, where people dress up in their fantastical characters and have a good time. Drag conventions is where drag queens and anyone who love drag, no matter what their gender identity is and sexuality, can commune and develop meaningful connections with other individuals.
May I ask a question? Oh, what exactly is drag? Just so that we're all aware with the audience.
So,
As RuPaul always have said, drag is the way you live your truth. I mean, that's a very bit subjective. But when look at with objectiveness, drag is where you dress up in any fantasy that you want. It's just revealing who you are in high fashion, gigantic wigs, and makeup, and all that fabulousness.
in summary, it's like when RuPaul said, we're all born naked.
And the rest is
drag.
drag.
I see. So it's basically wearing your identity
Yeah.
Yes.
and also emotions, I guess.
In a way, because the drag art is a political statement itself sometimes.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Because drag queens, in a way, just by simply them existing, is a political way of taking space.
Taking space.
Especially in the US, because there are some states in the US that are banning performing drag within the space of children.
Yes.
You're unaware of this? This is because you watch YouTube shorts.
No, I am aware. I swear. I just went ISO that.
Lies.
I can't lie my out of this one. No, but I've seen the bits where it's like, I will not show my daughter or confuse them with their sexual. I've seen all that bits, but I didn't know they were actually banning it.
Yeah. Illegally
I was
banning
more
it, yeah.
aware of the debates of this parent rips over the pride flag and goes, this isn't my representation. No.
Like,
So-
I don't know that much about this, but if I'm not mistaken, they're turning drag into like some sort of crime.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much of this came from traditional homophobia and transphobia because they fear the shift of privilege when it comes to the political aspect of drag. LGBTQIA are taking too much space. And these conservatives fear this shift of power in which liberty is now replacing conservatism.
Okay. So the major effect is that there's a battle over the space,
I think
or I'm sorry.
more
No,
like the
like-
art itself and the socio-political and socio-cultural elements that comes with this art form.
So like when a kid watches a drag show, that would inspire them to be trans.
Yes.
Like how does that work?
Okay, that's a lot to digest and take in.
Quick question: what is the difference between a person performing drag and a trans person?
There's a difference?
What? Can you repeat?
What's the difference between a person performing drag and then a trans person? Because you said before that drag is like showing your identity. But in the same vein, the person after the drag show changes into into other clothes. So what's the difference between you?
So in a way, we just discussed this in UTS. So transsexual and transgender identity is more of like a personal definition of who you are. Like your sex doesn't match the way you identify yourself. And in drag expression, it's more of like a mascot or like putting on something that where you can live your fantasy as a woman, a gender neutral person, or something that someone who is just more fabulous than your actual persona in real life.
That's what I noticed actually in drag shows, because it shows hyper femininity and hyper masculinity in both drag queens and drag kings respectively. They perform things like very heavy wigs when the actual woman, cis or trans, does not have that type of hair in real life. So it's a performance essentially, like all gender is.
Okay. So the effect on this is like the influence on people. It's like, I'm guessing from the way you speak, like your stance on this, it has a great effect on you.
Yes. I mean, drag revealed something to me about the gender spectrum and how the rainbow color depicts our fluidity when it comes to identifying ourselves.
Thank you for revealing to us that insight when it comes to the drag community, I guess. And now we would like to open a question about what other things do they do besides the fashion bit. It's because my adling, my younger brother, he watches, and then I see some clips where it's like they're lip syncing, and so I'm curious, do they only do fashion or is there something else to it?
They do fashion in a way that they incorporate it through their different acts. It can be political or just a performance for music, dance, and any form of art.
Speaking of music, so like you obviously watch RuPaul's Drag Race, right? So like I don't know much about the show, but I've seen YouTube shorts.
Yes.
Ew.
Like
Quiet. Your
I mean, like
opinions
YouTube
don't.
shorts and reels, like rusicals. Is that like something that they do every season?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Also-
always depict every different theme per season.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, the Drag Race season 1 in the Philippines did a musical, or
Yes.
who were the characters again?
I think it was more of
The pop stars, like
Like OPM.
the
OPM
sila
representation.
Like,
May I kindly ask-
I think Regine was there.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's a rusical? Everyone at home is
it's like
thinking.
It's a musical
There's
in
just morphological
in
play with
RuPaul.
words.
That's it.
Thank you for explaining so kindly to me.
I mean, like now since we're on the topic, so you want to talk about musicals?
Yeah.
Yes, that was one of the headers or one of the things that we wanted to talk about is how musicals came to be, how at first, because people didn't have much to do back then, it came off as another way to relieve their stress or become entertained and not focused with the hardships of life. So musicals back then, form of entertainment, and now it still is. However, the way we digest it is modernized, but there are some source materials that are trying to keep true to its roots. One of them is the popular Hamilton, which I've heard a lot of people are psyched about getting tickets and about their scheduling and also other concerts. But for now, we'll talk about this play Hamilton. Do you guys know something about that?
Not that much. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not that.
I
Yeah,
only watch clips. Also
yeah.
some commentaries from TikTok.
But we haven't digested it like at its core. Really, there's a difference between attending a concert and attending a musical. There's a real different aura to it. There's a different feel to it.
I guess so. Do you mind expanding that further? Because I don't think I'm getting it yet.
Yeah, like back in I don't know which year this was. There was like this free concert here in Batak City, but I was young, so I don't really remember which artists those were. I think it was Jugs and Teddy from Showtime, if I'm not mistaken. But
This is really way back when.
yeah, like really,
Really
way back. But
when.
we're gonna go way more. Yeah, because I have had my taste of attending. I mean,
How
I mean,
formal.
No, I mean, I'm trying my best to be a little bit more casual. But like, yeah, I've watched plays before. Like
Okay.
when I was younger and we attended.
We actually watched
Yeah,
the
we
play
did.
too. Together in high school, like
Yeah.
the people who were traveling theater artists, I
Yeah.
guess, and yeah, I think
Like-
we watched the same thing.
That was Troy Avenue.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Troy Avenue, yes.
Real. Tapos ano,
I
the
like
other
how that
I
one.
click.
love Troy
The other
Avenue.
one. What's the other one?
I can't remember.
I don't
It was
remember.
the
I didn't
Achilles.
attend the other
Troy.
one.
Troy Avenue yun.
Yeah, Troy Avenue pala yun. The other one I didn't attend, I think. But I heard they were coming
Nakimdak
back.
malagip. Tipan pa nun. Basta.
Yeah, yeah. So, continue on, please.
I'm sorry, we were on the topic of Troy Avenue.
Yeah.
I literally like spoke about that play for a week. I was literally obsessed with it.
It was really
How
nice.
It was really nice,
How
but
old were we? When,
I don't know.
that was, I
we
think,
were
grade
in
7.
seventh grade.
Seven.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so young. So
Age
young.
reveal? Question mark.
Hmm?
Chares.
18 ka, no?
But like, yeah, personally, that was a different experience as compared to when I attended a concert. Like, I can't really put it in words yet, I guess. But yeah, I mean, you get the thrill. You were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess now that you're resurging this memory into us, I have to say, the moment where it started, I thought it was gonna be a hosh-bosh play where it's like, oh, we're watching.
Just another
children."
Yeah,
play.
like it's another.
And then when the director came up, and then he was like telling us, okay, be respectful, don't shout when you're not supposed to, everyone keep to yourselves. And I was like, oh my God, this is happening? It's like a movie, but they're moving, like in front of us.
Yeah.
It was such an experience, and then I tried my best to. I was very entranced, I guess would be the term. I was very fascinated.
They were
And
immense to watch.
and they were really well. They weren't. They were good. They were good enough to keep my attention, and I was already very interested in Greek mythologies way back when. And then, yes, indeed, it was very fun to see such a formal thing, a very expertly laid out plan.
Yeah.
And then they felt so passionate as well. Like you could see some movements nila, they practiced and rehearsed this a lot. Not saying that concerts don't, but it's just like I think I'm getting the
Yeah, you get my point. You're getting my point.
I'm understanding that concerts, they just have another feel to them of
yeah.
formality. Concerts can sometimes drift off into informal territory where they start letting you guys sing along and things like that. Someone's throwing their bra, things like that.
Yeah, like the danger.
Is that Harry Styles?
And all
I
that.
have no comment.
No comment.
There's also the thing that in Troy Avenue and other theater productions in general, I heard from a friend or a relative who's a theater artist.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he said that theater is the highest form of art because you have to perform everything
Everything.
live. So there's singing, there's a dancing, there's acting, triple threat. There's also the production, the
Yeah,
stage,
like
the
the
props.
costume and all that.
You have to do it all in real time because you can't do that with a film.
Yes, you can. You can like in
can-
this podcast, you can start editing things out that you don't like.
Reveal.
No.
No.
Tapos
Anyways.
like you don't edit things out when you're in
Live.
on stage. Like pause.
Okay,
Time first.
Do it again. Do it again.
I forgot my lines.
I think that's where it starts, where
Yeah.
it's like you start to see the dedication when they
Yeah.
do the movements with such confidence or fluidity. It's really another thing.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that you can appreciate from like the actors, right? Like when something goes wrong, like a little thing, like the props not in place, you forget to bring something out on stage. You know how they keep themselves really composed?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
like-
show must go on.
Yeah, the show must go on. We have to like no panic, let's go on.
Something's going on, but I'll just say my line anyway.
Real.
I like those. So in your concert experience, do you mind divulging some of that more? See if we can do a
Comparison between theater.
I'm gonna
and
be honest, the concert thing, it was nothing but the smell of sweat and perfume. So
Oh
it was
my
really a bad
God.
experience. I was young, but I can still like vividly recall that.
It's
but
all the smell.
yeah, it was really like
Smells
not
like war.
a pleasant- But really, I don't like personally. I don't see myself attending concerts anytime soon.
Unless
not
VIP.
anymore, but
Unless
not
VIP.
anytime soon. But plays and musicals, yes.
Especially
yes,
if it's air conditioned.
From that point, are you guys familiar with conventions then?
No.
We are, yes. We are familiar.
Some conventions.
So,
Like some
What is a
convention.
convention? Please educate me.
yes, conventions. So this is basically a communal gathering. It can be hosted by a major company, for example, like EA, Red Bull. People like that can come together and create a convention and then have a list of activities throughout like 3 days, at most 5 days maybe. I haven't seen that one yet. And then basically there are the big major events, but they also give out, like they rent a space so that creators that are associated to that event, may it be cosplaying, video games, or comic cons, that's the space where they can let their community thrive. So if we put this into internet context, it's like Facebook and then community, Facebook, and then they have their own little posts where they can share and express their feelings for one another, for the art form, not
For
one
the
another.
form.
So it's like a very big GC.
Yes, a very big GC where you can interact with people.
So
in
there's
the
also
flesh.
the choice of dressing up and doing the
Mhm,
cosplay.
mhm,
I
mhm.
think our producer attended a Comic Con event. I don't think. I
a
don't
conquest.
remember. A conquest.
A
Yes.
conquest.
In Manila. She's nodding.
She's not.
She's nodding.
She's nodding. Have you attended a conquest yourself, Rico?
No, I have not. I have seen bits.
Would you
though.
want to attend a conquest?
Hell no.
Why not?
Why not?
Just the biggest thing is that I think I'm a major introvert. I like my peace and
Oh,
silence.
okay, okay.
I would rather be stranded on an island with.
Lies.
I'm not lying. Because a lot of my classmates see me as an extrovert, but I would much rather be a hermit in the mountain eating fish that I caught and cooked myself. This is deviating
Planting the food that
Yes.
you will about to be. Yeah.
That's like so vivid.
This is deviating so far from the topic,
Yeah.
but just
we are cottage core.
Cottage core. Oh, that's like a really cute
I'm a
aesthetic.
person that if I was given an option between
The
going,
city life or the
Yeah.
provincial life.
I would go to
Provincial, right?
provincial. That and also there are
Hospital?
plenty of probinsya. Okay. Well, that aside,
Garon.
the whole experience of exchanging ideas, that is another experience entirely because one, multiple booths of people trying to sell you stuff and encourage the community interaction, but there are also poorly laid out ones. There's one that was discussed way back when, but it was basically a very bad execution. And
So like that's the organizer's fault. Yeah.
yes, the organizer, this was a public thing where it's the community themselves not trying to create this convention. It flopped so bad that in order to their space was already super limited because it got overrun with another convention that was happening,
Oh, okay.
which was for trains.
For
What?
what?
For trains, a train convention.
As in
Train like Thomas the Train.
Yeah.
Thomas the Train, a train convention. And this was
why? I
I don't
sorry.
know.
No, I mean there are like question marks on her head right now.
Just the titles are vague. This is basically a small community trying to get their foot in the game, and then they got overrun by a more
Overrun.
popular.
Like, that's like a pun or something. That's a train.
Yes, a
Tapos-
train. I am a genius at setting up
Yeah.
these things. So that
Rail.
happened. But what I'm trying to get is, it was so
Rails.
poorly rails. It was so poorly planned out
No.
that the way they compensated the people that attended is that they put a ball pit, like a small ball pit, not even
like a
three
ball pit for kids.
children. Yes,
Yeah.
not even 3 people, like
How
inflatable.
much was a ticket to the train convention?
This is just off the top of my head, but I won't be saying anything. It was supposed to be for free because someone was hosting it.
Oh.
But then this will be another part of the story. This is just convention disaster segment. So this first convention, I already said the bits, and now the pool part. And then here's the pool just had balls, and they gave
Balls.
people they let people sit in it just to make up for the lacking of accommodations. The people that were listed to attend this event, or the like popular people, they backed out because they said because last minute they were supposed to pay for their own accommodations. So that flopped, and
That
now
flop.
and now a random person is running with 2 bags And then they were screaming, "Put money in the bag or they'll close our conventions! Or close the convention!" I was like, what's happening?
Is your source YouTube Shorts?
No, it's not. It's actually another podcast that I will not name because I will not endorse them because I don't know if we can do that.
But
So
yeah, better
basically,
to
these
play
are
safe.
these are stories about conventions. And then when I heard that, it was just a funny thing that I wanted to introduce here too. It was very short and because there are other things we should talk about. But yeah, conventions can be either good or bad experience. It's all based, or some of them are based on community. The other one can have a company backing it, so that's more organized. So that's the big difference between, I guess, the three conventions, concerts, and then theater.
And in such a way, when you look at the historical perspective of the three, they are somehow similar because in the Shakespearean era, and I've already mentioned this a lot, high culture and low culture has this divisive line. High culture comprises of this classical music, pieces of literature, writing that was made for the world's elite, while low culture is what the mass contended with. In a way, this low culture pop culture was extracted from this low culture. So when the mass saw the elites and having a form of entertainment for themselves, they compensated with it in their own form of entertainment also, in which it manifested now into conventions, concerts, and theater, and so much more.
Pero in my head, this is kind of Western because if we go and dip our toes over in Africa or very tribal areas,
Or even in Eastern cultures,
some Eastern
because
cultures.
their entertainment was very democratized.
Yes, that and also like simply getting food for the day. That's something they would celebrate for, and that was their form of entertainment.
This is because there was no elite and poor
Yeah.
divide in like Western and
Other-
non-Western
It's very
culture.
Yeah. But like,
Well,
yeah,
that's their thing.
there's your history right there. That's
Oppression.
their culture.
That's their culture. I see now why they're so divided. Anyways,
Are we not?
I mean, like, that's also one thing you see in pop culture, right? Like cultural relativism.
Yes.
Yeah, and all that.
yes, especially when it comes to movies.
What's cultural relativism? I forgot. It was in our first semester, but
Yeah.
I forgot.
I
I got a
think-
low grade.
Looking at one culture not based from your
Ay,
own
wait,
standard.
Yes.
When
Yes,
you
that's-
can't say what's right and wrong based on your culture alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's right for one culture may not necessarily be
Correct.
the
Correct.
same with the other.
Oh, do you guys want to hear something really weird?
Or here, so yeah.
So there's a tribe somewhere. Someone search it.
Is this Green Inferno?
No, not that
let's
one.
not talk about.
Let's not talk about that one. It's more on the how they view cannibalism as it
So
like
it's Green Inferno.
yeah, it is Green Inferno. I just wanted to talk about it because
Don't
it
watch
was very
that movie.
interesting. Just the fact that how they view cannibalism as them sending off the spirit. Or I could be getting some things wrong, but you guys can search that up.
Giving Midsummer.
Maybe. Well, it's more. This is a tidbit for you guys to go and explore other cultures that aren't popular, and just explore if you have the time. It's very fun.
Transitioning from that, I think we're ready for transition. I think let's discuss about the live events and the effect they have on our mental health. As humans, as we know, are social beings, so we can't necessarily provide a psychological or sociological theory that would support our claims, but we can describe our experiences, what we have felt when we have attended these concerts. So for you, Rico, and for you, TJ, what were your experiences? What were you feeling? What were your experiences when you attended such a very large attending or turnout? So
Well, just
Um,
being
go back to like Troy Avenue.
Troy Avenue. Okay.
So you were not alone when you watched.
yeah, but in my case, instead of me being like focused on the people around me.
You were focused on the actual...
After a while, I was like, hey, look, I make it funny. He make a mistake. And then after a while, I was like enraptured. I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
that's
like-
cool. The props, how did they do that? And then I suddenly forgot I was with people and that they were trying to get my attention. And it was just that fun.
Yeah.
I guess the effect it had on me, like afterwards, I had a newfound respect for people that do the art. That and also being, it was fun. Okay, how about you, TJ?
I mean, like, I do share the same perspectives. I mean, we went to the same play, we watched the same thing, but I mean, yeah, really, when I sat down and I learned that it was gonna be about Greek mythology, I was like, again. But then when the play started, I really couldn't take my eyes off. And maybe it was a different experience as well because it was an educational thing. Yeah,
we were actually required to go.
yeah, we were required to go, and yeah, I kind of miss my classmates. So shout out to them if they're gonna listen to this podcast. They will. But yeah, that's the thing. But if you ask me, I mean, I was an avid K-pop fan. I mean, we're transitioning here.
Okay.
Like, I was an avid K-pop fan 2018, 2019 back then. So, of course, when you're in that community, you can't help but make, like, friends from certain fandoms. So, I had, of course, like, I'm not gonna name the fandom or the group, but I had friends from certain groups. And, like, whenever a group would, like, do a concert like in Manila, they would go, and then I can't because
Team Bahay, represent.
Bahay. But like, yeah, I mean, I get like the feeling that you want to not just see your ults, like that's the term, right? It's not like you just want to see them, but at the same time you want to support them. Yeah, so that's...
And you actually be with the community that's supporting them.
Yes.
How about you, Danny? It's Danny, right? Real. When you watch Drag Race, are you with a certain... Have you watched a drag event live?
I wish I would love to witness a drag live event.
No. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's
I have.
Oh my god!
I have. I watched one. Real.
So and Bible.
Where? When?
Yung barangay namin noon, nag-host sila ng drag show.
Really? Yeah. Oh. That's why you see Dan's bringing the drag here, like all that glitz and glamour.
Go on. Tell your experience. Go on then.
I was watching and like, I could not speak. Like, I was there. I was experiencing the moment.
Wow, mindfulness.
Yes,
Mindfulness.
What I can say about it is though what I was on the other, like, this is the stage.
Yes,
this is the performance.
The listeners can see.
Yeah, real. The stage is, I'm on like the right side of the stage, so I can't really see the performers well. But I was
real.
starstruck. Ang ganda kasi ng production nila and the lip syncing. God, yes.
Powerful.
I can't really describe it into words because a drag show, it's like, it's a thing of its own. So you have to attend for you to understand.
So when you just getting from the context clues of what you're saying, the moment you attended the drag event, it was a enhanced experience.
Because it's live.
Yeah, and that
Especially.
yeah, the live bit is very very strong influence in this case because it's not just you now watching on the screen, but it's you with other people watching something live. So that's a major factor.
But I think it's still the same exhilaration when watching on screen because I was with my friends before on the
You were with a
season-
community.
Yes, on season 13 finale of Drag Race. I was watching with them and
Is this US?
yes. And the same exhilaration I would probably feel when I would be watching a live Drag Race event is the same thing that I felt when I was watching with my friends because we were able to commune, like we have this shared personal connection on our love to Drag Race. We were rooting for our queens on who would win the crown and all that.
So what I'm getting at here is that how it affects our mental health, everyone's happy about it. Everyone at least enjoyed the experiences that we've experienced, that are participated
You should
in.
experience things.
So
I remember that TikTok sound.
it
wouldn't know you
was
don't have
fun.
TikTok.
Now that we've discussed
Our experiences within attending live events
And
or
then
even
how
virtual
it
events.
affected our
Let's
mental
expand,
health.
and then it's effect on our mental health. Let's
Okay.
expand more on what we like more, virtual or the live event. Because for me, I think that the live event is more powerful because there's a difference between actually witnessing it with your own eyes, your own senses. You are there in that moment versus you are looking through a screen. So sometimes even the screens are like a cheap copy of the live event because the screen itself is not in high quality, especially in the Philippines because the internet frame rate is not very high.
Now that we're discussing this, what are your guys' thoughts on augmented reality? So basically,
What's augmented reality again?
augmented reality is basically VR technology. So
Oh.
just now that I'm thinking about it, we're talking about it being a cheap imitation. So when it becomes accessible, like AR technology, where you put on a headset and then you're suddenly in an event, which is now it has more dimensions. I don't know how far it will go, maybe, but you'll basically have the visual side of people also attending a server. We still can't get rid of the issue of maybe connectivity. But what will this bridge the gap? Do you guys think if the problem is that is it people, or is it more just the atmosphere in general of you being outside of your home, being with other people in the flesh and blood?
So like I just want to express this. I am kind of impressed with how AI and AR is continuing to advance, but at the same time, it's really a scary thing for me. Like,
Especially with the deep fakes.
yes, and all that. It's such a scary thing. So, I mean, I do get your point. I do get where you're
It's an
coming
alternative.
from. It's an alternative, and I do get where Pasky's coming from. That it's like it's real, it's organic, you're there, you're feeling it. But you know, when there's a crowd, there's danger. You know that saying. So. Yeah, I mean, can we like
We
drop
didn't even-
festivals here or? But you get my point. Where
Yeah.
there's crowd, there's danger. And
We didn't even discuss about the dangers of
Yeah.
being possibly.
was that too soon? No.
No, it's
No,
alright.
it's alright.
We need to shine light on things like this
Yeah.
because when we attend events, things will happen, and then that will cause irreparable damage depending on how severe it could be. We've all had pleasant experiences, but we fortunately haven't had any negative experiences. Sorry to cut you off there.
No,
but
it's
that
okay,
Was,
it's okay.
That was an
I would like to
interesting
add a point. Some memories are resurfacing when I was watching the drag show because here in the Philippines, some people are- I was actually entranced by the magnetism of the performers, but at the same time, when I was looking left and right, there were some people who were like raising their eyebrows, their eyebrows meeting. This is special. Especially this is a community-based or event. So
People doing that is
yeah,
just.
it's the dangerous. I even forgot that aspect because it's a dangerous thing.
Thank you for bringing that up. Please continue with your train of thought.
Yeah,
I hope that
I mean,
wasn't
like
disturbed.
when you're attending live events, regardless if they're concerts, conventions, and all that, you're either a risk taker or risk averse, right? Yeah. So like
Economics.
that's economics. We learned that in our economics subject, but
Take that next year or third one, I think. Well,
but
that's
like one thing.
Yeah,
if,
go ahead.
If you wanna
is
if
the-
you wanna attend concerts, like for the sake of aiding to like a better mental health, you have to see that there are risks that come from it too. Cause like again, there's dangers in crowds, and what if
people are
you don't
dangerous.
like you don't go home the same person you were. I mean, we can't avoid that. Accidents do happen.
Adding a point on augmented reality, I just watched an episode of Black Mirror, and it's a very dystopian sci-fi anthology series. And there was an episode there that was so scary about virtual reality. I mean, think of it like it has tendrils, like plants. When these tendrils slip into our brain, it distorts our reality. And I think it's just something to ponder on when it comes to augmented reality.
Do you remember what season and what episode?
I think it was on season 2. Season 2, season 2. Oh my god,
It's not the Miley Cyrus thing, right?
No, it was
No.
season 5, I think.
What do you call that device again? The one that you have to
The
put.
headset, or it's not.
You refer to the headset?
No.
No, it's because it's a VR headset. So that's why if it's by
Oh,
Gear
itself, it's
VR.
weird. Huh?
VR gear.
Well, I think so, but that includes the triggers as
Ah.
well.
Real.
I mean, we're Filipinos when it comes to technological stuff.
Yeah,
we're like,
we're
oh my
kinda
god, yes, I want to try that. That looks amazing. That looks exciting.
And
But
then we actually have that, and then no.
He is boring.
It's inorganic.
Yes.
it's inorganic.
And then once we reach the point, they now have a new toy to play with, or like new technologies to do, and then now we're like, oh, I want to try that too, but we're not satisfied with what we have anymore.
Yeah, like
A slight deviation from the topic, but that happens. God, now that I'm just thinking about all the hidden or all the cases of harassment that happens in concerts.
Oh my.
Because we've totally romanticized all
The
this
artist
entire
itself,
thing.
but not the crowd.
Yeah, and then
There's
especially
also like
the
Let's
concerts
not
where they start
name.
throwing bottles.
I don't remember the name. I think it's Kylie Jenner's ex.
oh
Oh no.
oh no.
Let's not bring that up.
Yeah, but
Yeah, let's not
but
bring
these
that
things
up.
happen.
These things
God.
happen, and like that's the thing as
Especially
well. Like,
with in Itaewon.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Like people like concerts. Things happen in concerts, and people who attend concerts. I don't really mean to like degrade them or what. Okay, like this is just an insight, but like they know that things can happen, and they still take
They
the
still
risk,
go.
right?
It's to support the creator.
To
most
support the
likely.
creator, to
Witness the creator in
witness
live flash.
to have the experience and all that. But yeah, really, when we attend live events, we have to see to it that we can cater to our safety as well.
We're very lucky again. God,
God.
it just makes me wanna. Not all people are saints.
In relation to concerts, do you think there should be a separation for the appreciation of art and the artist?
Oh my
Oh.
God.
I just want to know your opinion
I
because
think we can only apply that when the artist is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, wow!
Because
I wasn't expecting that.
Because when the artist is alive,
He gets affected.
you support that artist.
Can we talk about someone then?
but in a way
Yeah.
when the artist is alive, do you think it's important for us to still support the work of the artist even though they did some unimaginable
Like
crime?
questionable things.
Yes.
Well, while they're alive, right now. Oh.
That's an interesting one.
I had to write it there so that.
Trigger warning from this point onwards.
Can you repeat the question? Actually, I didn't understand.
Do you think people should continue supporting an artist's work when they have done unimaginable crime or questionable things?
So basically, it's. Sorry, my bad.
So you're putting into question what is support. So there's financial support, there's emotional support, and then there's life support. Because when you're supporting someone who's actually guilty, or at least what's the word? What's the
Guilty is
word?
okay. What?
Allegations. When they have allegations of a crime, why would you want to support this person financially, especially if this person has caused harm to someone else?
I guess that's why your point becomes
Yeah.
better now. I was about to
yeah.
question.
You
it.
can only in my point of view, and some people I know, so some people you can only separate the art from the artist when they're like not living.
Yeah, so that it becomes clear.
So you can actually separate, so like
So that you don't support them anymore.
Yeah, you can appreciate some things like art in like what's Picasso, I think.
Yeah.
Picasso like benefited from stealing in African culture.
Yes.
His art is very like
Has some African element.
has some African elements.
Which one's the crazy guy that died poor and never got the
Van
riches?
Gogh?
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
that guy, the most influential painter in his own era.
I clearly could not. He wasn't influential in his era. He was influential in our era.
He's the most influential ever.
Influential, but he died a
Like-
dog's death.
After he died, I think
That's
that's
hard.
when he became
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like very sad.
Yeah, like
It
that's so
is.
sad.
it's like
It adds to his infamy.
he's not an asshole.
Yes, he's not an ass. His
Yeah.
art is great. I mean, I say, but I
I'm
don't
saying
know.
that as a person, he's not an asshole.
Oh, okay.
I'm not separating the art from the artist. The artist himself is very
Influential.
kind-hearted.
Kind-hearted.
IRL. Yeah.
Sure.
It's overwhelmingly wholesome in a sense. Yeah.
Then again, just it's really sad.
Would you
all
like to
around.
add about which artists are you referring to actually in this scenario? Because
Yeah.
Not really referring to anyone, but it's
There are a lot of male artists nowadays who have these allegations on sexual assault, which is so disturbing. And sometimes these allegations put so much light. Yes, put so much light on their actions, but not actually putting more emphasis on the victims.
yeah.
That's
So
sad.
especially when you see this person in like Spotify rap,
oh yeah.
it's very shocking because yeah.
Oh,
real.
I'm supporting this person.
But I mean, some people they would say like, oh, I'm not listening for the sake of listening.
I'm
like,
listening for the song.
for the song. Like,
But
for
then
the feel
again-
of the
but
song.
then again, that
who
song is-
made the song and all that?
The song is influenced by the creator, the creator's experiences. So, like, would you interpret the song when given the allegation?
Yeah, exactly.
But there's an interesting article written by Emily Nussbaum when it comes to separation of the art and the artist. I think there's still a significance when there's still a cultural significance with the no separation of the art from the artist, because in a way it allows us to criticize them and in their direct relation to their identity and their past.
In relation to that, I would like to add a point. Like, when we like support an artist, there comes a point where we idolize them and not treat them as human beings that deserve to be criticized.
Especially over a million.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Tut, tut, tut.
But
let's
ano,
not mention.
let's not mention like that's our big.
This-
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Some
God.
some creators that I support are thankfully I select really good ones where they're like, please don't idolize me, I'm just another person. And one of them, I'll say his name because I love him to death, Ed Sheeran. One of his songs where he was like, okay, I made this song, I composed it, the moment I sing it, the moment it's released, it is now yours. Do not think of it as mine, or it's not me sharing my experience. It's now yours to use as you wish. And the moment he did it, I was like, oh my God, you angel, you saint, we don't deserve you. And then I did the opposite. So again,
So you did idolize him.
I still idolize him for his personality, but still I don't put him on a pedestal going, he is my Lord and Savior. It's more like, oh my God, this is a nice person. I'd love to be his friend. Things like that. And how charitable he is sometimes is very nice.
It's weird though. Like you get
What?
blinded by
By your idol.
by your
Idolization.
idols.
And it creates this cultish relationship among the fans.
Yeah, which like turns into like such a bad thing because you get to tolerate the bad things that
Yeah.
he does. And sometimes some people, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna name them, they like normalize whatever this idol of them, like what they do that's bad, they normalize it and like incorporate it to the lives of other people.
then-
Like, why do you have to rub that on other people's faces?
And then call it iconic.
yeah, they call it iconic. That's like,
Oh my God. This is a bad thing that,
Girl
again,
8. Girl 8.
Left no crumbs.
no crumbs.
so it's
The
like,
crumbs are on the carpet.
Oh my lord.
Under the carpet. In the,
The tea
closet.
is spilled.
this is a bad thing about pop culture.
I mean, yeah, at least we get to
Yeah.
see the goods and the bads,
Yes.
like the pros and the cons and all that.
It's very unfortunate that these things happen.
But yeah, we
He's
can't
opening his
avoid it.
eyes.
He's opening his eyes. Hashtag YouTube sword.
I know the the beep, the bad side of
YouTube
Yeah.
shorts.
of life. But I'm very blind when it comes to yung subtle things.
So like the real life implications of such things.
So for example, when an artist again is peddling bad things but brings out good song, that's something I struggle with. I'm not saying a name, but it's a harsh realization where like, I can't support you, my morals don't do it. But there are some people that again are clouded
Yeah, yeah.
and they're trying to rationalize it. Oh, he did that long ago. He's a changed man.
To be honest,
What?
To be honest,
Spill.
I would listen or like consume the art, but do it in a way that would not support them.
Yeah.
So my ads are not
Being
are not
going towards
used.
him.
oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, but like we like just a while back we were talking about like artists and singers and performers and all that. It just popped into my head. What about comedians? Oh yeah, yeah, that.
God, have you guys YouTube Shorts? You
I
best
do.
know
I-
this.
You better, yeah.
Is it
Say
the one
name.
where the allegation where one of the comedian or one of the most popular comedians got assaulted on stage?
Oh, do we have to talk about?
No,
that,
I'm just
or-
saying. Do you know that?
I do, but I didn't really focus on it.
Yeah.
I didn't really dwell on
As
it.
long
It
as
was
you
a stressful thing.
as long as you know about that,
Mm-hmm.
it's again going back. There's a danger for not only us, but
Yeah.
for the
For the
people
Yes,
performing
yes,
as well.
exactly.
So when they're up there doing their art, doing jokes, pandering, or not really pandering, just doing their thing, and then suddenly someone comes up and does harm to you. It's just the fact that can suddenly put an imprint of, oh no, I'm suddenly not safe.
Yeah.
And that's really scary to get over, especially when you're a comedian doing jokes that are semi-risque and people being snowflakes.
Real.
I don't
And
like
yun-
using that term a lot, but like,
And then you can apply that to drag shows in
Yeah.
general, because you can
Yung
have
flip side.
you can
Yes.
a homophobic or transphobic person can enter the show, and then in the middle of the performance can like threaten the life of.
yeah, that's
It
scary.
disrupts their
I don't
safe
I don't
space
think that's
in a
happened
way.
before.
But it could.
It could. I'm
mean, we
hoping
don't
that
know.
it would not happen
Yes.
at all.
That would.
Like imagine being like,
You're here to share some art form, and then
You're being disturbed so
like you're
abruptly.
in your safe space and you're being threatened. Like,
God, just all the
Anyways.
pressures of reality. I hope that the security of all these things that we do and watch are being upgraded as we speak,
yeah.
for the safety of not only us but for the creators.
Great.
so sorry for the audience. We're not giving very clear-cut answers as to how live concerts would affect our mental health, because there's some nuance that we should acknowledge when it comes to safety, and there's the benefits of watching it live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then comparing, contrasting that versus being online.
So you have to actually use your critical thinking
Mhm.
to judge whether or not this is good for you or
Or another way.
bad for you.
Just make sure you intake the information. We're basically just doing a hand fistful of discussions across the table of our experiences. And I hope you can get something up from this.
Yeah, like this is pop culture. There's always a good and a bad and a bad and a good. But like then
Or-
again, we should be like mindful of what we do with like this culture.
The best thing that we can do to safeguard at least the safety of everyone is being self-aware and critically
Yeah.
think about situations before doing it, so that we can avoid situations like we're supporting someone that is doing something bad, things like that, making sure that we're doing it for our own safety and our enjoyment.
In a way, pop culture is a dynamic and influential force. But at the end of the day, they also should consider representational context, and as well as substantial content in the entertainment industry, the music industry, and many more sectors, because such representations would paint authenticity among audience, creating this feeling of empathy and as well as relatability among viewers. And in result, we would understand more complex issues.
Speaking of representation, let's hear our representation from our audience themselves. So, through our Kamusta Ka page, we asked a lot of viewers. We publicly posted this on our Facebook page, PsychSoc
Society.
Psych Society, asking the question, kumusta naman ang social life mo? I think this is how it's going to go. We take turns reading an entry, provide some insights and aspects and some advice that we can actually provide, but here is Rico to provide a disclaimer.
And we're here and I'm here to remind you that we have nothing backing our claims. I mean that we are not professionals, and if you need help in any regard, shape, or form, not only is the guidance counselor for MMSU available at any time, I hope, but also seek help from a medical professional. We endorse that highly. Make sure that you stay safe, and that if you need help, there will always be one. You just need a little push in order to get that help, I'm sure there will be someone there ready to listen to you. And with that, let's go to our first entry. Okay, this person says, the world war in college is having an internal war between going out with friends and staying in, lazing up to recharge social battery after undignifying themselves with those very honoring requirements. Does anyone have to say about this? You guys had a strong reaction to that. Is there something clicked?
I mean, I guess you were just shocked by the
It's a
word,
very
the choice
complex
of
statement.
word.
Yeah,
Like undignifying is a big word.
yeah, it really was.
The world war in college is having an internal
Internal
war between going out with friends, that's one, and staying in, lazing up to recharge social battery after undignifying themselves with those very honoring requirements.
Yeah, I don't quite get the
Yeah.
composition, but I
I-
think it's them
This
being
person is like losing
like-
themselves.
in it's very flowerful.
In their flurry of activities.
Mhm. It's like
You have no time for yourself.
yeah, the
because
requirements
your
are
the
taking
requirements are very
us.
heavy,
Mhm.
and then there's the factor of social.
So like there's two different
Yeah.
aspects between
Your energy
then
is
the
being
person-
spent, and then you can't find it into yourself to maybe push a little more for the friends. I guess if I were to give advice to this, is just try and find the balance of don't force yourself to attend things that you feel like you don't want to, but at the same time be considerate because this is a friendship-based relationship, platonic relationship. And I like what our guidance counselor said, or even the dean said, in order for a relationship to last, communication has to be established. And once that happens, you guys can start communicating what you can and cannot do, and don't force things if it can be helped. So that's a good way of handling that one.
Any insight from our guests from
Mhm.
ELSOC?
I think that was already well said. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, you guys can take the next entry if you want.
Currently, I've been missing things. For example, halo-halo, dirty ice cream, strawberry taho, lambing mo, mais con hielo, skinny dipping,
Ooh.
thus going places other than home and school, hoping for my fast recovery.
Any
Recovery
thoughts?
in like what way?
Like missing the items
Yeah,
na sinabi.
missing out.
So it's basically like another version of what we discussed in the episode
Yeah.
proper of you didn't have it, now you have the
Now,
means to get it again.
So you have to get the most of it and all that.
So the recovery being yung wallet, I guess. You can
Yung wallet.
May sakit ang bulsa.
My butas. Okay.
That's-
I guess that's all we have to say for that one, I guess.
I'll take the third entry.
Mhm.
This person says, have you seen the lyrics? I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Lyrics meteor shower last daybreak of April 23rd. Because luckily I did. Wow, so happy with this person. My heart still flutters still now. Wish y'all a happy heart and peaceful mind.
Aw,
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Worrying about the host. I love it.
Isa kang green flag. Oh.
Wow. Man, I didn't see it. Did you guys see it?
No.
Unfortunately.
Damn.
I was, inaabangan ko ang solar eclipse.
Ay, meron palang ganon?
Oo.
Ada?
Kuman.
We really have to get out more.
Wait. We're here just, the world is happening?
Yeah, like
It's college.
Damn.
Your attention span is divided between
School.
spending time, which is very little, and then spending time on.
undignified.
Undignified. Thank you so much again, entry number 1, for the entertaining words. Now, proceeding.
So, next entry.
Next entry.
Number 4. So, sabi ni entry number 4, maybe I started the academic year without any good impressions left within my blockmates. And I don't know if they consider friends. Though I still hope they'll warm up to and approach me frequently. I would love creating convos with them. I mean, relationships, they obviously have a start to it.
Mhm.
Right?
So,
This might be the start to a great friendship.
Oh, yeah, please.
because
I mean, yeah,
you find my advice to this person for entry number 4 would be to like immerse yourself within the community. So like you're having, you mentioned that these are your blockmates, so provide some insights as in during class, like
Up to
I
you.
don't like this prof, I like this prof. That's a start.
Yeah,
That's
something
a
that you
start.
both
It's
can
a shared
relate to.
experience.
Yes.
So any from you, from Rico.
I guess the best thing that I could also suggest is try and not force things, because if you guys don't click, or if no natural interactions happen, unless you really like this person, you're going to have to force some situations to happen, like bringing up topics. But at the same time, if you guys aren't
Clicking.
naturally, I think it's already a telltale sign. So again, weigh out your options, see if there's something better for you to do.
But it's still okay, to be comfortable on your own company.
Here,
And to
here.
love your
Yeah.
company
Here,
at
here.
its fullest.
I agree so much.
Tama so much.
Real. Who would like to take the
So
next
like
entry?
before we move on to the next entry, we wish you all the best. Entry number 4.
This person says, is it squammy to have fun in cafes, or it tends to some students during reviews if the fun was scheduled and orderly?
I think it's not squammy. It would just depend though, because there is a fine line between enjoyment that causes disturbance and also enjoyment that's, peaceful.
So you can enjoy doing some doodles on a sheet of paper, but when you like reach a volume that would cause some sort of disrespect or disturbance to the other people in the cafe, like there's a very, as Danny said, there's a fine line between that. So you have to like wiggle your way through it.
Wiggle your way through.
What we're trying to say is have some self-respect and realize that you are in a private location that is publicly accessible, and the reason why everyone is there is for one reason or another. And since you don't know that, be respectful towards each other, have some self-consciousness, and just be respectful. That's a really easy fix.
But like towards the end of the question, it's like
The
if the fun was scheduled
and ordered.
orderly. So I mean, as long as it's
should
not
be.
disturbing anyone.
It's fine. It's not
Yeah.
squammy.
Yeah, I think
in a
squammy
sense.
is not like the term for it.
Such
but
an elitist term.
Okay.
So Rico would like to read entry number 6.
Okay, entry number 6. Hey, I am a first year student and my social life has been at its prime. I just have a question regarding stress. You see, I have a habit of plucking my hair whenever I am stressed, and it is becoming noticeable here in the house. I can clearly see the factors on why I am stressed. I feel like I get to be more of myself whenever I get the chance to be with my friends outside or in school. How can I recover from this? Dash. Toot. I will not say the, so that it becomes more anonymous. Let's not narrow it down. Okay, there's a reason why we say our at the start of the kamusta ka. Make sure you seek professional medical help, and you make sure that you reach out first to a more qualified professional rather than us. But since you
brought this up.
we will try our best to
brought this up. Nagtangsit.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll try our best to give our insights on that.
I think this is formally called as trichotillomania.
what's that?
It's the urge to pluck out your hair.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
But-
it's like a
New knowledge.
stress
Yeah,
coping
new
mechanism.
I think, yeah.
I think the best advice for this person would be to seek professional help.
Yeah,
Yes.
seek professional help.
Seek professional help.
The guidance counselor is open for you. Also with, let me advertise our professor in psychological statistics, Dr. Lim. The University Psychological Testing Center is open. So it's
We're
in
pretty sure it is.
it's in the student center. Yeah. So second floor, you can see it's UPTC ganun.
Okay.
But it's a
But
very comforting space.
Mhm.
Aircon.
comforting space, very very well air conditioned. But if I were to try my best to give a solution as someone that knows close to nothing and has a kind of resonating experience with this, it's for the best if, since I think you mentioned here I'm stressed and it's becoming noticeable here in the home. I can clearly see the factors on why I'm stressed. Since you can see and identify the factors, it is best that you try to actively solve them in a way that can help your mindset. It's basically hot wiring your brain into thinking you can do something about the situation. If you focus on the factors that you can change, that will help you immensely already. Because the condition that you have about plucking the hair, I think that is almost like an unconscious habit where it's for stress relief. That's one way of doing it. But there are things where you can do consciously, like if you see something isn't working out. This is way easier to say than it is to do. So this could be the push that can help you. So if there's something that can help you channel that anxiety or something, that stress, into something better, that will help. Try fitness, try diet, try consulting
Walking.
with your friends. Walking is very healthy too. Just try and find a habit that will take you off from being on your own devices, having nothing to do, because the last thing you want is having your subconscious rule or having your mind be against you, because one of the strongest assets that you have is
Is your-
yourself, your body, your health.
Your rationality.
So make sure that you take care of that.
UTS at its finest.
So make sure.
Understanding the self.
But it's a really great. I have to commend that you can understand the factors that are stressing you out. So all that I could say as someone that has little information is to look at them clearly, identify the things that you can or cannot change. Don't be overbearing on yourself. Give yourself time to recover, and make sure that there's plenty of love that you can give to yourself so that you can support the growth. It will be slow, but I'm wishing, honest to goodness, I'm wishing the best for you. You've got this. I believe in you. Okay?
8.
Left no crumbs.
8 and left no crumbs.
Well, that's just my humble opinion. Please, again, seek proper medical attention.
Dr. Lee,
Asking for...
Student Center, second floor, UPTC.
Now, the next entry is...
Entry number 7. Danny, can you read this for us?
Nakakapagod. Ubos na agad social battery ko. Umaga pa lang. Oh my God, I so feel for you. But it's also okay to have some self-care. You know, you deserve some rest. And you also need to focus on yourself mentally, emotionally, physiologically, and so much more. To sending virtual hugs for you.
Yeah, sending virtual hugs for you.
the blessing of being aware.
And again, like, ubos na agad social bat. What Rico said kanina, you don't really have to force things, you know? Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Yes, that. Try not to force things and find a balance. If you understand that you're gonna be very tired in the morning,
Yeah.
maybe sleep earlier, give yourself more time to rest before a day, or if you cannot do it, then notify the people you're interacting with that please, it's
Yeah,
very hard on
please.
me. Setting up boundaries is a healthy way to not only respect yourself but understanding like the people you interact with. If they really have self-respect for you as a person, they're going to understand this and they're gonna try and adjust. Well, at least doing that will help already because you're trying to take control of the situation as best as you can, and that is something that should be commended.
Entry number 8.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, I've been having trouble lately about my image when I interact with other people. I think about whether I talked too much or was too silent. My conclusions always lead to either one of those, and nothing in between. What do you guys think is the key to balance? To be just in between or just right?
Let's hear an answer from our from our extrovert here.
From our extra, I am an introvert and I stand by that. But if you meet me in person, I will say something else. Now, I'm sorry if I'm entering this one with a little bit of a light-hearted tone, but it's like you shouldn't care about what image you bring upon other people.
Because when you fixate on the image, you fixate on what you're doing
You're
right.
trying
what
to
you're doing
people
wrong.
please at that point. Okay, wait.
Okay.
Side note, be careful. These are my opinions. These are not.
We cannot judge a situation with just a few lines of text.
Yeah.
This is my insight as a person reading a few lines of text. So what, from my experience, the moment I stop putting myself in a this is from my case, a people pleasing standpoint, because I can confidently say I went through that era. It's like it's very draining to try and tune yourself to someone else's rhythm. It's for the best if that balance comes from your inner harmony. What I'm trying to say is that you're not fixated on what makes other people comfortable with your presence. People have to deal with you as you are. You have to love yourself and understand that these perks that you come with can be grown or be forgotten. But what you are right now is very important as well, and that you have to nurture yourself. So what I'm trying to get at is the opinions that the people give you, unless it is something that can do harm to them or something that is very urgent, shouldn't quite matter to you. You should focus on yourself and becoming a better person. So when it comes to whether you should speak loudly or somewhere in between, focus on what you're comfortable with. And then if by happenstance you want to adjust to them or adjust for them, don't do it on a regular basis, because you also matter, not just other people, okay? We love you. that one was on a left field, but I kind of felt like a mother at that point.
I'm building
Mother
up on
Rico.
that. I think this person is struggling with their confidence and self-image.
Very true.
So like there's this idea that when you want to be confident, you have to envision yourself. So there's like what's the term? I forgot.
You make a caricature,
No, like
not right?
confidence, the main point of confidence right now in social media, as you see it, it's fake it till you make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a very very subtle lie that you have to whistle through your way out, because confidence is not about being another person that people would like.
Exactly.
Confidence is about I think being more comfortable with yourself and then spreading out that energy to other people.
I'm very sorry, but I think I have a conflicting viewpoint.
What?
Because the reason why I'm so confident this way is because I lied to myself for so long. And then I got used to this, and I was like, I really like this version of myself. So I guess be open-minded to
Maybe that's the real you.
factors. The being...
So like confidence is comfort in a sense.
Yeah. So
No,
you have to be unapologetic.
I
about
wasn't.
yourself.
No, wait. It's like this is the growth aspect now. Of like
okay.
I faked it because I guess I wanted, because I idolized some people that were like this, so I wanted to mimic their traits, and I saw that it was a good trait, so it was. So it came from there. So just be
When
careful
did
with
you
what
start?
you mimic. Oh, way back when, grade 6. The moment I got hold of the internet and then I watched YouTubers. That's where it all started.
There's also this theory that
That
when you grow up, do you become another person or do you just become more you?
it's because you're compiling experiences from
You
other
are an
people.
experience, so you want to share that experience to other people.
No, it's more like
Yeah.
you compiled it, and now
We're saying the same thing.
no, it's just that
Hashtag reality
the thing is like
You were not this. Then
This-
you
you're
wanted to be this.
you're taking
Then you're this.
Hindi, it's like slice of cake. You got one slice and then you're presenting it as this is part of me. I am getting the crust of this cake, the frosting of this cake, and then a random cherry. It's like a stitched together experiences that made me realize this is who I am. I'm not butternut Cheerios. I am cake.
In every sense of the word.
No one's gonna understand that. But yeah, just be more comfortable with yourself. Be confident in the aspects that you think are good. Make sure that you aren't close-minded. Be a critical thinker and make sure that you think really hard about the things that you want to inhabit as a trait of yours, especially when it comes to speaking too loudly or too softly, because from those little changes, if you're always adjusting time to time because of what other people think should be, it's going to be exhausting for you, and you're gonna get stuck on just that point alone.
Can I add a point on the confidence thingy?
Yeah, please.
So confidence is such a combination of a lot of beautiful and complex things. So you can be confident by being vulnerable. You can also be confident by being, unapologetic. Or you can also be confident by just doing nothing and just being you.
I agree.
That's the same thing I said, and you disagreed with me.
Hey,
No, but like generally.
that was a new standpoint. You were saying that that was my standpoint, which was not. But that is already, we're sweeping that under the rug now.
Anyway,
Anyways.
number 8.
Yes.
He or she was just asking, what do you guys think is the key to balance? To be just in between or just right? Honestly, it's not on us. I mean, we can debate here and ramble about what we think would keep you balanced and all that, but honestly, it's on you. Yeah, like, that's it. It's on you. You have to like discover yourself. You have to get to know more of who you are as a person to find that balance that you're looking for.
Because we can say either or and then give convincing points.
Yeah, like either or, neither
But
nor.
it's really essential they discover themselves. I
yeah.
like that point. Okay.
Real.
Thank
Move.
you. Entry number 8.
Your number 9.
Number 9, okay.
Number 9 na.
My friend has warned me about Mercury retrograde because she said it would affect me in some undesirable deja vu way. Yeah, I met someone that have way lots of similarities as my previous partner and we clicked. This new one's nice though, not scared nor broken, but wish my fickle heart luck.
Wish her fickle heart luck.
Would you guys like to take this one?
I'm sorry, but I wanna ask, what's Mercury retrograde?
Same, I don't
I
quite know
think
what
it's
that is.
just some alignment. I don't know much, but based from TikTok videos that I've watched, it's there's an alignment of planets on the cosmic universe.
This is more
and
astrological.
yes,
So,
Oh,
it affects our energy because this alignment of planets.
can I ramble?
I think we already
Because Mercury
opened the
is-
floodgates for that.
Again,
Too late.
we're not professionals.
we're not professionals.
But also we respect the field of psychology. With that said,
however,
Mercury is I was surfing through TikTok in 2020, so I think I know something about
Yeah.
some astrological aspects.
Here we
Mercury is the planet of communication.
oh, there's a planet of communication.
go. Who did this?
Real. Good question.
Please continue. I'm in
So
Yeah,
when
we're
a planet
intrigued.
is in retrograde, it's like the planet's function is not functioning well.
Okay.
So like there's some miscommunications, there's some deja vu ways.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting.
There's
I'm
certain
getting the
experiences that
image.
were not meant to be happen,
Oh.
or some difficulties. It's also really painful to note that right now Mercury's in retrograde, and it's like thesis season.
Okay, wait. Dissect the terms. What in God's name is the retrograde? It's in retrograde, meaning there's a state above it. Anterograde? What the
Anterograde it's prime. The retrograde
Oh,
is in it's-
recession?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So-
Now, what was the other term you coined?
remember.
Here's like
Deja
a
vu.
definition. You want me to read?
Oh,
Yeah.
please do.
May I? Yeah, so like this is from Webster's dictionary. It's having or being motion in a direction contrary to that of the general motion of similar bodies, and especially east to west among the stars.
What term are we divine?
Retrograde.
Oh, retrograde. Like itself. Oh, okay. So it's basically a recession because you're going against it. Right?
This is
So-
interesting. Like, yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I guess the only
Kasi, let's put this back into perspective regardless of the Mercury retrograde concept. This person is seeing some similarities with her.
Like they click
his-
partner.
They click.
Yet
They
click.
clicked.
projection.
Projection.
All we
Maybe.
have to say is
is we let
careful.
the things happen.
and be mindful of
Well,
what you're giving
yeah.
out
So yeah, we wish your fickle heart luck.
as well. And with that, we have gone through all our main entries.
Entries.
Let's just read some
Bonus entries.
bonus entries. Go.
Which is much superior. Okay, wait a minute.
Superior.
Which one is superior? Mix and match ng Jollibee, McDo, or sa KFC? Meron sa KFC?
I mean, I know about Jollibee and McDo, but
Ada.
KFC's a new.
At the
Ano?
famous bolsa.
I have no opinion on this for I have not tried KFC.
Yeah,
Same here.
Same here. So,
How about you? Have you tried?
Ako pa na-tried.
Jack, pinatry
Ilocano
KFC
na.
yun dyan. Oh,
Hindi ko man na-try yung mix
When
and
it
match ng
comes to
KFC.
Cost effectiveness, I think mix and match ng Jollibee would be
The best.
more superior.
Hashtag
Kasi 75 na.
75.
Tapos yung McDo kasi
Nag-price increase.
Nag-increase ng price.
yung KFC is 89 pesos na.
Pero for what are you getting with that? Oh,
So it's safe not to comment yet. Yeah.
yes. At if you na with prices in mind, Javi. Next one.
Ako na to. My social life is complete without you, JC.
Sino
Talaga.
kaya yan?
Talaga. Sige, love you rin. Ay! Amamok no sino deto eh.
Okay. Next bonus entry.
How to color.
Do you guys wanna do it?
How to color po. Paano po magkulay ng planong mag-swimming? Are we still in that,
It's going to summer season though.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, yeah.
after this sem siguro they could probably squeeze one in.
But, I mean, I don't go, so I don't know how to do it. It's not that I don't
Siya
go,
yung
but...
eraser.
Oh, that's so bad.
You stay yung stick drawing. Alam mo yung gawin mo? Kidnap mo sila at night. Tapos punta
At
kayo
night?
lahat sa... Oo, at night talaga.
At night.
Yun lang. End of story. Kung gusto mo talagang makulayan, kidnap mo sila. It's a joke, please. No one quote me on that. Next entry, Danny, please.
Shout out ulit kay Sir Enzo.
Are we keeping that one in? Okay.
Get that one in. Okay. Ano
Next.
ba? Karot.
Do we... may I?
Go,
sige,
go,
cool.
Which is culturally relevant? The Mona Lisa painting or the discovery of Halo Halo?
Cops in halo-halo.
I think both are culturally important in a way, but Mona Lisa has more historical relevance.
Yeah, like-
because Leonardo da Vinci,
Da Vinci.
During the
Him.
Renaissance period.
yes, had painted the Mona Lisa as an embodiment of women. You know, enigmatic, ideal, very ethereal, and just the women qualities that society admire, I guess.
At the time.
And it has also been part of the royal collection.
Oh, that's
It's also important to note that the Mona Lisa wasn't famous until it was stolen. So that says a lot. That says a lot about women.
Are we keeping that in?
That says a lot about our perspective of women because we only see some sort of importance regarding
the moment something bad goes wrong.
Object.
Ugh.
Yeah, objectification.
It was a
and all
literal object this time.
that. Yeah, a literal object.
Let me reference a moment in Fleabag.
Oh my god, you watch Fleabag?
I've watched
my
Fleabag,
God.
so I hate the stepmother, but she says something very very beautiful. This is about a woman robbed. Because Fleabag, the main character, stole her stepmother's art piece, which has details on female anatomy, just to mess with her stepmother. The stepmother she's very irritating, so I say deserve. Pero the stepmother during her in the gallery presentation, she said that this highlights something about women and women empowerment. So when the stepdaughter, the main character, her name is Fleabag, stole the art piece containing details of female anatomy, this is about a woman robbed.
Oh, that's very insightful. Here,
So
let me.
poetic.
I'll pitch my hat for the Halo Halo crew. It's nice and cold. Okay, the end.
Like,
Let's think about the immediate needs
But-
of our salivation.
But culturally, we can't really compare them because culture is a way of life for a group of people. So it's very difficult to compare cultures without suddenly making it a form of superiority thing. So we can't do that. We just respect each other. Both have their own significance. I'm not quite sure the one with Halo
Also-
Halo, but it tastes amazing.
Also,
Yeah,
I think
it
this
does.
person is being sarcastic with this
Yeah.
question.
I know it is, but just in
We
case
took this very seriously.
just in case people don't know how to take a joke, because there are a lot of people like that nowadays.
Yeah.
I want to safeguard myself, just in case. So again, we understood your sarcasm, but just that. Okay, and that is all the entries for our from our Kamusta Ka page. And now,
To
give-
wrap up.
because it's our first time collaborating, we would like to give the honors and make our guests do a quick wrap up.
So it was such a meaningful discussion about pop culture, its cultural significance, socio-political elements, and cultural sphere. So we digested a lot of the likes and dislikes in pop culture, and amidst all its ugliness, it has still opened a lot of doors for experimentation and creative representation.
So as we were able to casually converse about pop culture, we were also able to formally define it. And of course, we also discussed current events that are happening here in the Philippines and outside. And of course, with these, we also conversed about live events. And we were able to share our insights with one another and really communicate with one another with what our insights are regarding pop culture. And of course, as we ended, we had our Kamusta Ka entries, and it was meaningful to at least connect with our viewers and listeners.
And lastly, always remember that representation matters and drag is not a crime.
Very nice ending note. So once again, we would like to give out our special thanks for English Language Society for collaborating with us on this episode. We are very thankful that we got lots of insights from them and that they were such amazing people to work with. I'm so thankful that I got to meet and converse with them. That is all. Thank you so much once again.
So in behalf of ELSOC, we would just like to express our gratitude to PsychLyne for granting us this opportunity to speak up about pop culture and its nuances.
It has been really refreshing, and we hope to collaborate with you in the upcoming years. Yeah.
We hope that we have a long-lasting relationship
Yeah.
as well. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Again, this has been Pasky.
And this has been Rico.
And we have been your guests. I'm TJ.
I'm then Aries.
3, 2, 1. And
You're on the line with PsychLyne.
Thank you
for
very
listening.
much.